record button. I almost got us started. We would have been just talking. So what's been going on with you? Talk to me.
I've just been, dealing with the business. And as you know, I also bartend on the side as well. I do that 4 nights a week. And we close pretty late. So I do that until 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning. And then during the day, I wake up and come here and do facials when I have clients and stuff like that. So it's just back and forth, just
Been a
trying to
busy
do
lady.
everything. Yeah, just trying to get it off the ground, right now it's not making money for itself. So I'm relying on the bar just to just keep it going. But
Keep
you
you
know how
afloat.
it is.
Nah, I
Yeah.
can definitely dig that. I could tell just from when you first told me when we first met. I'm gonna get to that too as well for some of my listeners that's wanting to know actually how me and Mercedes met. We'll get to that a little bit later. But for the audience, introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, so my name's Mercedes. I've been in Charlotte for about 3 years now. I'm actually from Hickory, North Carolina. I was raised there. I was born in Mexico, but I've been here mostly all my life. I've always been in the bar industry or the restaurant industry since I was 18. During COVID, when everything was happening, kind of decided to switch careers and, do something for myself. And that's when I decided to actually go to school here in Charlotte at Aveda Institute. And that's when it all started. And at the beginning, I kind of wanted to work with doctors and medical spas and, work with like fillers, Botox, stuff like that is where I was like leaning towards more so, which I did do those things and learned really quickly that I did not like working for doctors. And it was just more so about the money than actually caring for people. So that's when I realized that if I wanted to do it my way, I would have to do it on my own. So thankfully, my boyfriend pushed me actually to do it. That's when I signed up. I believe I did it in either March of last year's when I signed up for my LLC. And I started to think of the name and what I was going to put into it, what skincare lines I was going to do. And I've already been doing all this research for the past 3 years now. Just as an esthetician, you're constantly doing continuing education and learning new things. Things are always evolving. There's new things always changing. And during COVID, there was a lot of maskne, we call it, acne from all the masks and stuff. So that was a really big thing that we had to battle with as well. It's just been a lot of learning and growing as I go. And I've also, throughout this growth, I've noticed things that were impacting my growth and not letting me grow. And one of those things was alcohol. So I completely dropped that.
Okay.
And it just did a complete change in my life. I feel so much better.
Wow.
I feel so much happier. I lost a ton of weight.
Yeah.
A ton. My face isn't swollen all the time. I'm not waking up angry all the time or irritated or, the hangovers, especially when you get older, they last for a couple days. So it was just not worth it to me,
Hey, going back to something, Mercedes, you mentioned Botox and fillers. For those of y'all that don't really know what the terminology mean, can you break that down for the audience?
Yeah, so in the state of North Carolina, it varies by state. Either a doctor or a nurse can only inject Botox or fillers. It's an injection in the skin, just depending on what you're looking for. So if you have wrinkles or you've lost volume in your face, or there's just something that you want to change, maybe your chin is not as long as you'd like it to, or your lips aren't full enough. So what you would do, it's actually hyaluronic acid is what's in these fillers, and they inject it, the doctor did, into
acid, you said?
Yeah, that's what's inside the filler.
Okay.
They inject it in whatever problem area that you have or concern that you would like to fix, under eyes, stuff like that. And it would just kind of give you a little extra, little something that wasn't there. Maybe elongate the chin, or maybe get rid of maybe the bags under your eyes, stuff like that. And then Botox is actually paralyzes your muscle. So that's just a little injection goes on the forehead and the crow's feet. So it paralyzes. So when you see people that can't move their eyebrows or do this, they have Botox.
Really?
Which is great for anti-aging and crow's feet area. So if I were to smile and I had it, I wouldn't have any lines. I've never gotten it done. I don't think you should unless you've reached like a certain age.
Age.
Because because after a while, I feel like your body just starts to get used to it and it stops working. So
Yeah.
then you start spending more and more money, and it's very expensive. It can run from 300 to $500 to $600 every 3 months
What?
just for your face to not move. So what I tell people is just
Oh,
don't move your
man.
eyebrows. Just don't move your eyebrows. That's
Yo,
why
that's like a
I don't
whole
raise them.
pavement. That's like you making a car pavement damn near just about.
Listen, that's nothing. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
there were people spending $3,000 just on like little fillers on their face. One filler can range from like 600 to like 800 and some dollars just for one syringe. I believe it's 1 milliliter is what's in one. Um, a lot of times, women, especially, the most popular is the lips.
Right.
That's what a lot of women get.
I was seeing that a lot too, especially I used to see that a lot back in Georgia, like back in Atlanta, when it started, booming, strip club, entertainment, what I mean, industry, all that stuff. I started seeing more people do that. Like I feel like there's nothing wrong with you doing it if you got a purpose and a reason why you're doing it, or you just want to fix something because you got an opportunity, whatever it may be. You might be in a movie, who knows? But if you're just doing it just because everybody else is doing it, it has no meaning. You know what I mean? Like I don't knock people
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it, but that's very important though for folks to actually know that. What was interesting when you said that you could tell who has it and who doesn't. Has there been any cases
I
where you happen to be out and about and say somebody might have said something out the way to you, or they might just start a random conversation, and you happen to just notice it because this is the industry that you're in? Like, how do you go about moving? Seeing all this on a daily basis.
Well, as human beings, we naturally, express our emotions on our face. Like, I
Mhm.
try not to lift my eyebrows as much, or I try not to like squint or do too much, but, we can't help it in genetics. And as we age, things start
Yeah,
to show. So
yeah,
if I'm talking to you and there's no movement in your face at all and you're just stone cold, like let's say I'm talking to you right now and I don't move my eyebrows, but I'm speaking to you like this.
yeah.
It's like you're frozen. There's nothing going on. And that's what people like. And if that's like what you're into, like
Hey,
power to you.
all power to you. Yeah,
Power to you. But some people do a little bit too much sometimes. And that's when it gets like, I guess people get addicted to it. And that's when the lips become too exaggerated. Or like you're so frozen that you can barely move your face at all. Like, or you can't because it's too much.
man.
But
So some people
yeah,
actually get addicted. They actually get addicted to just the process of just having that look, being the center of attention. I get what you're saying.
yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen, they call him Ken, the Barbie doll. He's a guy and he
Yeah, I heard of
actually gets implants and stuff in his biceps and like his jawline and his cheekbones are just so pronounced. And it's just like that's just too much. Like that's exaggerated at a point. But the other issue I was running into when I did work with those doctors that did do the injections was, let's say I would come in and be like, hey, I have concerns about my forehead, right? I have wrinkles. And he would be like, oh, well, I also see this, and this wrong that I think you should also get done. So that's when I even started to like get self-conscious about myself because I was like seeing him point out all
that.
their other flaws that they weren't even asking about. And they were like,
Mhm.
oh, like okay, maybe I should do this and do this when honestly they didn't even need it. It was just more so let me sell.
Yeah,
And
conscious
it ended
person.
up causing more problems than good because these women would get these fillers and they would look, let's say Kylie Jenner, for example. She looks swollen, right?
Yeah.
She's younger than me and
Mhm.
she looks older than I do. It's really sad, honestly. But you can see in her face how puffy she looks.
Yeah.
And it's because of all this filler right here. And I even had like under eye bags. At this point, it's genetics. It is what it is, like
So let me ask you this, Mercedes. How do you feel about, like, I mean, I'm assuming, would there be certain like things you would go about getting because they would be needed, as long as it's not life threatening to you?
Right. And the thing about fillers that's been because they haven't been around long enough to see the long-term effects that
Mhm.
now people are seeing the effects. They say, "Oh, it goes away by itself." And like they say about 2 years, 2 to 3 years, it's no longer there.
Yeah.
That's wrong. There's
Mm.
a lady that's had fillers. She had like an x-ray done or something, and they looked in it, and she still had filler from like 8 years ago in her face, and it moved.
Holy cow.
They're also
I'm
very dangerous. Some they don't recommend to put it on the nose area because it can actually again move and to your eye area, and this eye area is also very dangerous, and it's not recommended here because it can move into the eyes and make you blind.
causing an infection.
I've
Mm.
seen the filler from here travel down here and leave lumpiness. I've seen fillers from here travel down and make the skin look even worse. The other thing I didn't like was threading. That was another thing that came out
Ready.
where they literally put needle like threads into the skin to kind of pull it up. A couple celebrities started it, and that's where it started to be a thing, but it literally does nothing. Like you're paying $3,000 for a little. Like if you're maybe in your 50s, 60s or something like that and you have really bad like sagging or your neck and stuff, you're better off just getting a facelift because it's going to be about the same.
That made
But
me
with a
really
facelift, it's
respect you
permanent.
doing that. Like that's so dope that you actually you're more. It's just not with skincare with you. You actually educating people on the importance of like you taking care of your skin, but what options you do have and what options you don't have to go towards if you have unless it's like some type of emergency or something happened to happen to you.
Right.
Like, just you being able to break down the knowledge and stuff like that, you have a lot of passion for what you do, and I can hear the excitement in your voice, man. And I really
Yeah.
respect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I appreciate, going on here. I'm really excited to talk about all this. This is literally
No
like
doubt.
what I do.
Yeah, it's your
Um,
lifestyle.
yeah. And a lot of girls straight out of school, they want to jump into owning a business. And I did too, but I was like, I need to get my feet wet. I need to be out there in the industry. I want to see how these people run their spas.
Right.
Get training under, these people because training is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
Especially getting like certain devices and machines, like there's microneedling, microcurrent, there's all kinds of lasers. There's a lot of stuff that's out there now, and it's extremely expensive. And sometimes I just feel like it's a waste of money from
Really
what I've seen in my own experience. Yes.
own experience. Nah. Just speaking from experience, I mean, once you actually done experience something rather than trying to go into the biz like the business aspect, that's cool to know too. But like you said, I feel like when you're walking into any type of line of work, you're better off looking at it like, okay, I want to go from this step, but I just can't skip steps in between because you're not really going to appreciate the process. You're not really going to see the journey for what it is. And
Hmm.
on top of that, I mean, you're not really going to have as much respect for it. So my thing is, why people should respect what you have going on when you haven't been putting in that work and from what
Yeah.
you putting in the work right now.
Yeah, of course. And, as an esthetician, I do the facials and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I can work my magic and do my stuff in the treatment room, but I also need you to put in the work at home. It's literally 80/20 is what we call it.
Yeah,
20% is done in the treatment room, 80% is literally at home from you doing the proper skincare. The number one thing that a lot of people miss
hmm
is sunscreen. You want to look like JLo at 50? Put that sunscreen on every single day. I'm 28. I'm gonna be 29. I don't have any wrinkles. You know what I mean? Like it's also from like me trying not to move my forehead, but
yeah.
I can't afford Botox. I'm gonna try not to get it off like at all.
I
This is
see.
my
I
goal.
see you got stuff. Are you actually at the spot right now? Because your
Yes, I
background, the
am.
aura looks real plush. It looks real play
Yes.
and chill right now, man. Show the people what
Yes.
you got
Look,
going
I
on.
even added here, I'll show you. I added this awesome flowers hanging from the ceiling.
Ah, man, botanicals all
So
day.
let's see. So when you lay down, this is what you see.
Oh, that's dope.
Yep. That's like always been like a thing.
That's peace
Yeah, I
right
got my
there.
own.
What kind of flower are they? Are they real or you know?
No, they're not real.
But
That'd
what,
be
but,
too
but what
much
kind
work.
are they though? It's cool even if they're not
It's
real.
wisteria. So wisteria is normally used in like weddings.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're just more like clean looking. Since my room is more like I didn't want to do too much color because I wanted to keep it like a nice chill vibe in here,
Mm-hmm.
and not do too much. So just white, and then I did some eucalyptus as well, just hanging down. I
Oh, that's
actually used I can't remember. It's a trellis that you put for outside, and it came with like the little flowers, and I just kind of like hooked it up to the ceiling and just I don't know.
yeah.
My friend helped me. It was
See,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would love to go experience something like that, which I am gonna make sure I go do that with you because I've actually had your card since the time we had met. It was funny. I found it in my clothes pocket and then I put it in the car. So I was
Did you
like,
wash it?
nah, hell no, no, no,
Okay.
no, no. It's still a good shape. Look, let me tell you, I'm known for washing, like miscellaneous items like your money, even documents or whatever it may be. But something like a card to me, that's very important because I pass out my cards as well. And that's important for me for somebody to actually have your information and everything. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this while I'm getting this situated. I had to make sure I got this bad boy charged up, man. I've been on it all day.
You had a lot of interviews.
Yes, yes.
Good for you.
What I love the most, Mercedes, is just me meeting new people, being able to actually give people the idea like there's other services out here. There's other ways for you to actually, what I mean, pursue your passion. You can have a dream, but what I've learned over the years is that if you're not really applying yourself, then that dream is just a mirror image, of where
Right.
you're trying to go.
Yeah. Only you are in the way of your own dreams. You
Yeah.
have to apply yourself and put in the work. And man, is it hard. But I always see you got to work really hard now to enjoy it later on in the end when it'll be all
Oh,
worth it. You got to suffer at first.
let me ask you this, Mercedes. What other services do you offer to the public? Like, are you offering any like classes as far as teaching people how to do certain type of hand massages? Or are you like offering like certain products that you use on your clients for people to use at home? What are some products and some things and some tips that you believe, with some of the listeners?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my specialty is actually sensitive skin. I'm actually also certified in acne as well. I'm honestly certified in a lot of skin types. Working in these medical spas, I learned how to treat melasma, rosacea, eczema, and all of these other medical skin conditions. I'm currently working with one skincare line, and it's for sensitive skin. So I have sensitive, dry, acne-prone skin,
Mhm.
which means that I can't have stuff with fragrance, things with a bunch of added chemicals, stuff like that. It's just not good for your skin in general. I'm a really big ingredients girl. So
Yes,
I
organic.
will look at the label and make sure, okay, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have dyes, it doesn't have sulfates, stuff like that, organic stuff like that. So one of the lines I use is Hell and Hush. They
Mhm.
are a
Okay.
sensitive skin line. That's what they're known for. It's actually owned and created from another esthetician. That's why I support them wholly. The owner is amazing. I'm
Right.
currently getting certified in an acne line called Face Reality.
Mhm.
It's very big and well known in the aesthetics community. I'm not done with the training yet because I'm very busy, but
How
I'm
long do
getting
you
into
have until you're
that
done with your training?
when I have time to
Man,
finish the
what you mean
video.
if you have time? Yo, see, look, if
I've been getting so booked out. So I'm on ClassPass too. I don't know if you know what that is.
nah,
It's
break it down
it's
to me.
like I don't want to say it's like Groupon, but it's like it's a thing you sign up for. I believe you pay for it monthly and you get credits and you can use it on any of these services. So there's like boxing, martial arts, yoga, anything to do with wellness,
It's like a
facials.
subscription.
hmm
Okay.
And you just pick and they're all half off. It's all discounted. So let's say you book like let's say one of my facials is 120. Then through ClassPass, you would only be paying 60. And you book the reservation through them and then you just come to your appointment.
So if I use if I'm able to use an actual website like that that's similar to Groupon, it's going to be pretty easy for me to navigate on what I'm looking for
Yeah.
and how
And
to
you have,
touch with you and stuff like that. Okay.
yeah. It gives you options. Like I'm not the only one on there, of course. You get to
Cool.
choose who you want to go to, or I want to try it just so that I can like try like boxing or something like that. You know what I mean? Because those can be really expensive to
Yeah.
try or just to start. So like it's a good way to like try new things if you're like on a
Period.
budget, stuff like that. I'm doing it more so just to get more clients and stuff like that. Get myself out there a little bit. I'm not doing classes yet. I do want to teach people, but that's going to be like a while down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna write a book one day. I'm gonna be doing big stuff. I want to even
holla at
open
me on
my
the
own
book.
school.
I can help you
Huh?
with that. Holla at me on the books. I can help you with that. I got 2 books
Oh,
right now
really?
that I have out.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about my life and I was like, wow, like this would
Write it
make a good
down.
book.
Write it down because I'm gonna tell you something, Mercedes. You'll be surprised how many people that you will impact just off of your story based alone, outside of your business. You kind of give them more of an idea of who you are personally, and you make that experience very comfortable for them to be like, you know what, I want to learn more about what she has going on outside of this book because you meet so many individuals, what I mean, in life. Life is just one big old big like Amazon to me. Honestly, I love to travel. I love to meet people, as you can see. Speaking of that, sidebar, y'all. So I met Mercedes at the Degenerate. It's a restaurant towards Noda in Charlotte. If y'all ever get a chance to be in Charlotte, y'all slide through, holler at her, holler at the people's man. Good food, good drinks, good vibes, right? But I met her just us making conversation, me being there. She took care of me. She made sure I was good. I had a great time. And overall, my drink and the food was bomb. And she broke down what was what. So as y'all hear her right now, she knows what she's talking about. She knows what she has going on. So that's a lot. I had to share that with y'all a little bit, man. But back to what we was talking about. So now that people can know that they can actually find you, where can they find you at as far as IG? Like you have a website or anything too?
Yeah, so my website is on my Instagram. It's in my bio. So my Instagram is Blooming Aura Skincare, and then my website is Blooming Aura Skincare period glossgenius.com. I'm also on Google. So if you Google Blooming Aura Skincare, I'll pop up. It'll, have my address, all my reviews and everything like that. I also do offer full body waxing. So I do Brazilians as well. That's another thing I do. I haven't been getting a lot with that yet because I've been so focused on the facial portion. It's
Mhm.
again one of those things that slowly has to build up. I'm going to be adding more and more as I go. But again, that's just as I'm growing and stuff like that.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever considered like a mobile service, like is your table mobile, like where you could fold it up and put it off in like a case and pull up on actual clients that either they can't leave their home or they're just either, so wealthy or whatever the case may be, they prefer people to come to them and you know
Imagine
what I'm
imagine being so wealthy that you
saying?
can't leave your big house.
Handsome and
Let the rich
wealthy.
come to me. I want to have that problem. Hold on.
Hey, look, it's
Um,
possible, man. I figured I'd ask you.
yeah. Actually, it's illegal in the state of North Carolina to
What?
be mobile. Yes.
What?
North Carolina is very strict.
Oh, you know what? I see why they look at it like that because to them coming,
Sanitation.
yep, it's they looking at it with it being sanitation. Also, they looking at it from another point of view, like as far as people doing legal prostitution. We're not promoting that, y'all. We just speaking on it. But I can see that, but that's crazy because I've met people down in Georgia and even in parts of the different parts of the world like Canada and stuff to where they didn't have no issues with that. So I guess the laws are different. Here they're
Hmm.
strict, but at least you're making the best out of it. So I mean, at least they can come to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, of course. I have been like considering on how I could do maybe like weddings. like do like little mini
Oh,
facials for weddings. I
yeah.
don't know how
Free.
that would work yet, because like I said, there's a gray area. Another thing, I am going to be doing an event. It's not set in stone yet. I have a
Yes.
friend who works in finance and banking, and she's going to be holding an event, but I'm going to be doing like hand massages and stuff like that, not really skin treatments because you can't really do that. I do have a portable bed. It's not here, it's at my house, but I do have one. I usually only use it just to like if my family can't come see me and they want to get treated, then I'll just do that. But that's like,
That's cool. That's
yeah.
convenient though. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
nice to have that convenience, but you know, I would still take care of my family. I'm like, man, you doing what you're doing. I'm not expecting this for free, so I gotta make sure I slide and take care of you, man, because you're taking care of my health and you know what I mean, got me
Right.
feeling good and looking good. You know.
Yeah, and with everything going up, inflation, prices are insane with everything, and I understand people don't really have the funds and can't really do a lot. So I just try to make sure that I can do as much as I can to take care of others and make sure everyone feels good, at least with their skin, because that's like such a big, important thing
It's
to
a
have.
big pet
People,
peeve. I'm gonna have to holler at you. You know what I mean? I know when I got a beard, so when I cut it down and having coarse hair like this, you know, I'm more prone to ingrown hairs and stuff like that. So I know
oh,
for
yeah.
sure I'm gonna need something to, you know what I mean, to actually keep myself up to par, man, but to keep my skin healthy and you know from breaking out and stuff like that.
So I actually also offer skin consultations, whether it be in person or virtual, something like this
So
over Zoom or FaceTime, whatever people have access to, where if you can't come see me or you don't have the money for a facial, like I said, 80% is from at home. I can sit here and tell you, oh, I would recommend this, this, and this is what you have to do in order to get where you want to be. Now, it's not going to change overnight, you
right.
know you got to be consistent. It's going to take at least, I want to say, 3 months of you being consistent to actually see change. So that's like a really
Now,
big, that's another thing that I do too.
yeah, that's another investment I for sure want to go into, like you said, because I know how important it is. You know, people see your face on the regular. So me doing stuff like this, me meeting people face to face every other day, you know, it's a part of my image, it's a part of my brand. And I think people should treat themselves like that, you know, treat themselves with importance and love. So that's real.
Yeah.
That's real, Mercedes. Man, but
Yeah.
you know, but while we on here still, you got any questions for me, anything? We can flip it around.
Let's see. What do you like interview multiple different kinds of businesses, or just kind of like who
For
you
sure.
meet, or
For
how
sure.
are you getting out there yourself? Are you just talking to people?
I like that question. So me already being a people person like I am, sometimes I might just be minding my business and somebody might randomly say something like, "Oh, dang, did you see that?" And I don't see nothing. But I'll just speak to them like, "No, I didn't see what's going on." And somewhere
Right.
down the line, they got this going on and they ask me what I do. And we just happen to click. You know, sometimes you don't really click with everyone, but I like the fact that I put myself out there. I meet people that have, you know, different lines of work, different passions. Like I've interviewed everything from like dating coaches, people that's in the finance industry, you know what I mean? People that are in the actual entertainment industry, a little bit of everything, different services, because I feel like it's very important, like I mentioned earlier, for us to kind of not be in a fixed mindset, but just be open to a lot of different things and really be able to actually, you know what I'm saying, unravel a whole nother version of yourself rather than just be surface level, because things are too surface level to where it's a bigger playing field than that. And I think that everybody has something to offer everyone in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. What made you want to start this? Like, were you thinking about it for a while? Were you seeing other people doing it, or?
Nah, it's not even that. So the thing about me, Mercedes, I've always had situations happen to where, man, people would tell me crazy stories, or I tell them my life story, and we'll just get to talking, and we'll learn so much about each other. And I was just like, man, I got so much to share with the world and knowledge, and just game to actually help, you know, younger men and younger women to pretty much get what they want out of life. Why not share it? And I ended up being here. I looked at it like it wasn't no point for me to try to force it, because I feel like when you force something, it doesn't come out authentic, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you a big manifesting? Do you manifest a lot?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you something. I was in an apartment for I was in an apartment for a year last year. Me and my lady was in an apartment, and it was funny. It was 3 months left on the lease, and they didn't send no renewal or nothing. So I was sitting back, and I was like, man, I ain't gonna be paying this much for no apartment. I already know how inflation, how everything works. So why I'm gonna stay here and pay the same amount that I could pay for like a 2 or 3 bedroom house? So I wrote it down. I started talking about it. I left it alone. Shoot, what? We in February now? I want to say,
Mm,
like, I said this back in November before my birthday rolled around, and I look at it now like I'm in a 3 bedroom house, man. You know what I mean? I'm out the way. It's real nice. It's real
yeah.
secluded. I plan on doing like some gatherings and stuff just to get, like-minded people together, man, just to have a really good time. Not too many people, you know what I mean? But just something to where it's a nice ambiance. People can be themselves and they ain't got to worry about nothing. It's a safe haven because I call my place a peace haven, you know?
Yeah. This is my piece here.
A peace
I
haven, I
love it.
see it.
I got the spa music in
It
the background.
Yeah, that's because I'm looking at everything. Like I see the equipment in the back. I see the
Yeah.
table laid out. It reminds me of a studio that I used to record in back in Atlanta a couple of years ago. They used to call it Velvet Room Studios. And when you walked in, it looked like somebody just threw a whole bunch of just like satin sheets on the wall, but it was glowing when you walked by. And then they had a blue light that said quiet recording. And when you would walk through the hallway, you would see different doors, but each door basically served a purpose as far as like you had your engineers, you had people that did live band work, and then you had other people in there that was actually brainstorming or people collaborating in one room. So I just love stuff like this. It's different. Like when I had my spot set up in my room, I had a little bit more in the background, but I wanted to keep it simple. As you can see, I kept the logo up there above my head. And sometimes when I do my little night shows and stuff, or I might go live, I have it glowing there here. It might be a blue, it might be a green. It's just all on how I feel.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
You got some good questions, man. I'm surprised you ain't been interviewing other people in your field. How you sit here answering these good questions myself.
All
So
right.
dope.
How do I listen to your podcast? Is it
Oh,
on your
so
Instagram?
for sure. So the way you're gonna be able to catch Queasy Low Speaks podcast and also this episode, you're gonna be able to actually find me on YouTube, Queasy Low Speaks. You can also find me up on Facebook and IG as well. I don't really deal with TikTok. I tried TikTok a few times. It really went my forte. So I kind of backed up
Same.
off of that. And you said the same thing for you? Yeah. I
Yeah.
just couldn't get with it. I don't know. I don't know. I tried it, but I was like, nah, it's cool. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's wild that you said nah, because I thought I looked at it differently. Two people was like, man, you tripping. You need to try it out. I'm not trying to do what everybody doing, bro.
Right. It's just so much already. Like you're doing Facebook, you're doing YouTube, you're doing Instagram, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm already doing all this already. I gotta do another thing. I don't
yeah,
and
yeah.
then I don't have any followers. I gotta start over, and it's just like maybe I'll get viral.
It's a lot of work, man, and you can do
Yeah.
the footwork and meet people in person and just make it happen. Like I feel like this is a lot more effective. Think about it. We ain't even know each other, and we just started speaking. Most of the times, people have the issue or have problems with communicating with people because they ain't never had to really communicate. But once you get of age after a while, and you're socially awkward, people gonna think something either wrong with you if they're not in tune like that, or they gonna be like, yo, Mercedes gonna be, well, that boy tripping, boy. He seen me, he wanted to speak, but he ain't say nothing, and he just kept stirring. It gonna make you uncomfortable. Like, I done got uncomfortable before because I was like, man, say something. Like, I'm human like you. Like, just speak to me. The worst I can say is like, leave me alone.
Just run out of things to say, like, oh, how's the weather?
Yeah, man. I ain't never like that fake stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you got to be able to read cues. Like, you just got to be able to read cues, man, and be in tune with yourself because a lot of stuff just be so just you know what I'm saying, misunderstood, and it just be weird stuff happening. Sometimes I just be like, yeah, I just be wanting to kick it, stay out of the way, you know.
Yeah.
Be around good people like yourself, and you know what I mean, everybody else that's around. So I just enjoy life, and you know, I could tell you enjoy life, man, because you enjoy what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna take me a while, but we'll get there.
Yeah, for sure, for
We'll
sure.
get there.
So, one more other thing before we get off here. We got about 4 more minutes. What I was gonna ask you was, what's some of the funniest stuff you've seen while doing your profession? Like, have you had some bloopers where the customer didn't see something happen or something may have happened and you had to be quiet and don't say nothing? Let me
Um, I've tripped and
oh,
like over cords and stuff.
no.
And it's like you're supposed to be so quiet and it's supposed to be so peaceful, and you're just like just like creating noise, and it's just like, oh, wow, okay. And it's just like, oh my God, like I'm so sorry. Um, dropping stuff. I've hit my head on the lamp.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah, just little stuff, running into stuff, little things like that. Nothing too crazy. Um, I feel like I have this one when I was doing Brazilians.
Yeah,
When I did drink back then, this was like my first job. Like when I like after I just graduated, I worked at a waxing studio in Huntersville, and I was training. So
yeah.
we had a model or whatever, and I was a little hungover from the night before, and we had to wear masks at that time too. So I was wearing my mask, and the girl was trying to teach me how to do it, and I was just not feeling great. And like, it's a Brazilian, it's a very intimate area, and we give people wipes to
Yeah.
clean themselves because, sometimes there's stuff back there, and
Mhm.
I don't want to see that, like we get it. You go to the bathroom, it's fine. But that day my stomach just couldn't handle it, and she had a little something back there, and the girl was just like, she just put the wax over it like it was nothing. She's a professional. We didn't see nothing, but I saw it, and I started to gag under my mask, and I could smell it.
Ew.
I ran out of there so quick. She was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I'm just sick. I can't do this."
I quit.
But besides that, I've had a little bit more horror stories that I've heard from like men getting Brazilians. I don't do men, Brazilians. I'll wax men like
No
chest,
man,
back,
bro.
your
Yeah.
brows, nose, whatever. But that down there, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
This one guy, like, you know, relieved himself. First of all, you're getting the hairs ripped out. How is this pleasurable for you?
Boy, that hurt me, boy. God.
Yeah. I've had people call and ask if we do happy endings.
Oh man, them people. I'd be like, yo, I'd be like, boy, you better goddamn go
I'm
to
like, does
town.
this look like the back alley salon? I didn't go to school to just to relieve. I'm confused.
They tried that. Although
Yeah,
there
I'd be like,
are
sir,
still some
that's
out there, but
illegal.
yeah, it's like, nah, I'm not the one. That they bugging.
Uh,
Oh man, that is crazy,
Men
man.
really have the audacity sometimes, even at the bar. When I tell people what I do, sometimes I'll make some comment like, "Oh, do you do this?" And I'm just like,
Idiots, man. And they wonder why they can't get no woman. Boy, that's a whole nother conversation.
"Yeah, yeah." But stuff like that. But other than that, just tripping over stuff and
Trying to stay afloat. But look, I
yeah.
wanted to time out on us, yo. It's been a pleasure, Miss Mercedes.
Thank you for
Now,
having me.
I appreciate your time. Look, this is Queasy Low Speaks podcast with Blooming Aura Skincare. Y'all be sure to get with her, man. Get your services, tap in, and leave some love on the video and just follow up and man, get right. I appreciate you again, Mercedes.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
You too.